Hi, welcome back to Unsettling Tales of True Horror. I am your host, Celeste, and this is my co host, brother Mason.
Hi, proud to be here once again.
Okay, so before we jump into anything, Mason, how was your day? How was your week? Anything exciting going on?
Good. Nothing really, nothing different. Went to the swap meet today. Get
Nice,
vegetables. That's pretty
nice.
much it.
That's exciting. You left the house. Good job. I'm proud of
Yeah.
you. So, my day
Maybe.
consisted of baking all morning for an order I was doing, and I made 3 dozen cake pops, which was very time consuming. But I had
Jeez.
leftover cake pops, and I was planning on taking them to Troy's mom's house. And I
Uh,
put 4 cake pops in a baggie. I went out to the car. I put Oakley in the car, but before I put Oakley in the car, I put the cake pops in a baggie on top of my
mhm.
car. And I put Oakley in the car, and I get in the car myself and start driving. I get all the way to Troy's parents' house and realize
Oh,
I never grabbed the cake pops off of my roof of my car.
so
So
you just lost.
I completely lost them. We came home and I was looking on the ground in the street. I don't know where they went. They're gone. So that's fun.
Probably somebody seen some free cake pops, so they took them
Someone
and
got
ate
some
them.
good chocolate cake pops, that's for sure. So, yeah, that's what my day was. Anyways, okay, so we are going to jump into this week's story. Um, Before I get too involved in this, this case is not very well known. It is fairly recent. It happened in 2022. It is very sad. And before, I guess I shouldn't say all this, but I'm going to. It is a cold case. They never found who did it, and this happened very close to me. So,
Mhm.
this is the story of Rachel Hansen. It's a Gilbert, Arizona unsolved case. My sources are Arizona ABC 15, azfamily.com, and then the gilbertsunnews.com. It's a high of 100 degrees in the beautiful Gilbert, Arizona in June of 2022. Now picture white picket fences, modern apartments, beautiful outdoor shopping, and overall Gilbert, Arizona has a really low crime rate. You've been to Gilbert, Mason, so you know what it looks like. Um,
Yeah.
on Friday, June 3rd, Rachel Hansen and her fiance, Jomet Bailey, I honestly don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, so from here on out, we're just going to name him Bailey, okay? So
Hmm.
Rachel Hansen and her fiance, Bailey, which is his last name, had just moved into their own apartment together the day before, so it would have been June 2nd, okay?
Yeah.
They only had a few belongings inside. They were taking their time to enjoy the amenities the apartment had to offer. Later that night, Rachel talked to her mother, Kim. She was planning on coming by that Sunday, June 5th, to help the couple get settled into their new apartment. Little did Kim know that this would be the last time she would talk with her daughter. That night, on June 3rd, Rachel and Bailey went to bed. Bailey had to be at work early the next day. He left the apartment a little after midnight. At around 2 a.m., Rachel dialed 911, saying she had been shot by a stranger in her apartment. She told the 911 dispatcher nothing was stolen, the intruder didn't take anything. She was rushed to the hospital where she was then pronounced dead. According to residents that lived in the same apartment complex, that even shared a wall with Rachel, said they did not hear anything. They didn't even know anything happened until the next day, the next morning, police came knocking on their door. So they had no idea anything happened. Like, God, it's so, so sad, man.
Didn't even hear a gunshot.
Yeah, like, and it's just so scary. Like, we're going to get into more details. I kind of just, jumped right into it, but we're going to go over, like, some ideas that could have happened or whatever. But literally, it was their second night in this apartment.
Hmm.
Like, that's like a happy time. Like that's so exciting. Moving into your first
Yep.
apartment, especially her first apartment with her fiance. Like that's so exciting. They finally get to live together and start their life and then this happens. Like
Yep.
it is unknown how the suspect even got into the apartment because like I had mentioned, nobody heard anything going on. It's unknown if the front door was unlocked or if they had a key to get in. Um,
Hmm.
but not her boyfriend, sorry, her fiance Bailey left in the middle of the night, okay, a little after midnight to go to work. So did he accidentally leave the door unlocked or, like what? I don't.
Yeah.
So we do know that her bedroom door was closed because she was fostering two puppies at the time and she wanted to keep the puppies in her bedroom, so she closed her bedroom door. Kim mentioned that her daughter had no enemies and she couldn't imagine anybody wanting to hurt her. Rachel was an amazing soul from what I have read. She was adopted by her now mother Kim and her father Todd Hansen when she was just 6 years old. She was brought to their acre lot with a lot of childhood trauma. There really wasn't much about her life before her adoption, but all it said was that she did
Hmm.
have a lot of childhood trauma. But I'm so glad she found this family because they
Yeah.
treated her like their own child. Rachel mentioned she wished she could have a horse, and her family had rehomed the horses they had due to their older children already being married and going off to college. So the family that adopted her, they already had 13 other children, and most of them
Damn.
were adopted. So this family adopted quite a few children, and
Hmm.
then they adopted Rachel. Kim and Todd went back into the horse business for Rachel because she was wanting a horse. And she was
Hmm.
flourishing. It was the best therapy for her whatsoever. She became known as the horse whisperer, actually. It was mentioned that she just like kind of got on a horse one day and knew exactly what to do when her mom was freaking out and she was like having the time of her life. At 10 years old, Rachel would go around her neighborhood asking for food donations and she would auction items off in order to help her friend who had a serious medical condition. Like what other 10-year-old do we know that does that? Like she is so
Exactly.
amazing. Like that's so crazy. She was so giving, that's for sure. By the age of 16, she had graduated high school a year early and she began her own business training and finding horses for clients. And this is literally just perfect for her. By the time she was 19 and living with her fiance, she had actually already had her real estate license and she was planning on selling horses, like horse properties, to people who wanted
Hmm.
to live that lifestyle. So it was like a giant, like, acre with, or however,
Yeah.
with, horse stables and all that kind of thing. The time that Rachel was attacked, her mother Kim wasn't even in Arizona. Can you imagine like getting that phone call of hearing what happened to your child or let's just say a sibling, okay? And you live in a completely different state than me and having to get on a plane and get home as fast as you can. You know how long that takes, like going
Yeah.
through security, waiting for the plane, loading, unloading, like that. God, I can only imagine what she was going through because she was
Hmm.
alone. Maybe she had people with her to come home with, but she was actually in Indiana
The
babysitting.
mom.
Yeah, so Kim was in Indiana babysitting her two grandchildren when she got the phone call about Rachel.
Damn.
Because, okay, so her husband, Todd, was at home here in Arizona
Hmm.
and woke up when police came knocking on the front door. They asked if Rachel was his daughter and if they could come in. This is when he learned of what happened to Rachel. And Todd immediately called Kim and told his wife what happened. And then, like I said, Kim had to get a flight home as quickly as she could.
Hmm.
So, going through all that just to get home because of what happened to
Yeah, that'd
Rachel.
be stressful. You know what happened, and you have to get
Yeah.
a flight, buy the flight ticket.
And like not only that, like I really hope she wasn't alone. I hope that she had her family come back with her.
Yeah.
Rachel was murdered 8 days before her 20th birthday. So her
Mhm.
birthday is on June 12th, and the day that all this happened was June 4th at 2 in the morning.
Dang.
So the family honors Rachel's memory by creating what they call Rachel's Rescue. And this is absolutely amazing. So they care for dogs and help them find good homes. They have already been able to find homes for more than 200 dogs and puppies. And they named it after her daughter, which not only honors Rachel, but it also starts conversation when people ask who Rachel is. And that's keeping her memory alive.
Yeah.
So her mother said that a lot of people come to this rescue to get a dog and they immediately say like, "Oh, are you Rachel?" to Kim, which is her mom, and she has to explain to
Mhm.
them, "No, I'm not Rachel." And that's where she starts her conversation and starts talking about Rachel and what kind of a person she was and
And what she did, yeah.
yeah. So she was an absolutely amazing person. I'm so glad her family continued her legacy this way. To this day, they have zero suspects in this case. However, Gilbert detectives continue to track new leads and information. So, if anybody has any information whatsoever, or if they know anything that will help this case, please reach out to the Gilbert non emergency number at 480 503 6500 because Rachel deserves justice. It is just so sad what happened to her. And she was just starting her life. She was going to do
Mhm.
amazing things on this earth. And it was all ended because of somebody, which we have absolutely no idea who it was.
Not even a quarter into her life yet.
Yeah. And like, my first thought is I don't think the boyfriend would have left the door unlocked. Obviously, not on purpose. Um, it could have been an accident, but like, why? Why would this person? What? The thing is, they went into her house and went directly to her room and shot her. They did not
Yeah.
steal anything. Usually, it's like people breaking in to steal stuff. Why are they going to
Mhm.
this apartment to go directly to Rachel when she was an amazing soul? She had no enemies. Like, was it previous tenants? Because I know in an apartment, they don't change the locks. I mean, you have to give your key, but what if somebody made a key, like copied it, and they
Mhm.
had a copy of the key? What if it was like previous residents or something like that? Like, oh my God. Like, that's so, honestly, that is so scary. And the
Yeah.
fact that nobody heard anything, her neighbors next door, her neighbor downstairs, heard nothing.
Mhm.
Um, I did read that Bailey, her fiance, was still spending a lot of time with the family after Rachel was gone. I think it was mentioned that he was going over there like once a week to have dinner with the family and all that. Just because,
Mhm.
like, how can you just like cut everybody off after that? Oh my gosh, it is just terrible and so sad. But a lot of people in this area do know about this story. Another thing, there was actually quite a few things mentioned that I didn't write down. I don't know how true this is, but I heard that Rachel's horse, so she had a horse, her horse went missing a couple days before she was murdered. And I think they ended up getting the horse back, so I don't know if he got out or something happened. But then another
Uh,
thing I heard was that in the process of her moving apartments, she was selling a lot of stuff online. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. If that is a thing,
yeah, I
I'm
don't
sure the
know.
police, looked into it. And like I said, right now, there's still no suspects whatsoever. And again, I don't know if that's the truth. I just saw that somewhere where somebody was saying she was selling her stuff online, which is actually very scary also. And you have to be very careful with that. So, like, when I
Yeah.
do that, I will say, because I do sell stuff online and people come and pick it up for me, I go to a public area.
That's the safest thing to do.
Exactly, because like I don't want people to know where I live. Like that's terrifying. So Rachel was described
Yeah.
as strong-willed, determined, motivated, sweet, and just so giving, which by this story alone, we know that she was an absolutely amazing person. And like I said, I can only imagine the things she would have done on this in this world had somebody
Yep.
not taken her life so tragically. She didn't deserve that whatsoever. And I just really hope that they find justice in her case. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that the family and other people in the town of Gilbert are trying to get her story out there more because it's not very well known at all. It just happened in 2022, and it we just we need to get the word out there as best as we can to support Rachel's family in this hard time. And with how giving her family is, we need to give back to them by trying our best to find any leads possible and get her story out there. But
Mm-hmm.
that was the story of Rachel Hansen. Let me know what you guys think happened. If you have any ideas, um, it's such a sad story, and I just keep her family and her fiance in your thoughts and prayers. But until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.